Okay, whereas Uncle Larry got lost a little here. All right, and that's, you know, and that's only the most offensive thing in the movie. Uncle Larry could spend the entire rest of the show going on about how stupid everything in the movie is, but why flog a dead equestrian? Uncle Larry just wants to give you a couple more of the really low points. About 2/3 of the way through, the female lead says to Keanu Reeves, "You're not very bright, are you?" And you know, here, Uncle Larry, you know, she's not talking to Keanu, she's talking to you, boys and girls, the audience. You're not very bright, are you? Especially if you went and saw this, God forbid, a second time, or told anybody that you liked it. Now, and one last thing, and this was the height. This was just the height of absurdity. There's something, every film critic has like their little bugaboo, their pet peeve, the movie cliche that just pisses them off whenever they see it. And for Uncle Larry, it's what he calls the A-Team syndrome. This is where you've got like 40 people with automatic weapons all firing at point blank at the hero, and every single bullet misses. Somehow he manages to dodge every bullet, you know. And if you just stop for a minute to think about it, boys and girls, even if those weapons were only firing 2 bullets a second, that means that at any 1 second there's 80 bullets in an area around you. How do you dodge 80 bullets? It's like saying, well, if you're just fast enough, you could run out into a rainstorm and not get a single drop on you. But that is bullshit, boys and girls. Think about it. Even if you could stop time, those raindrops would still occupy so much space around you, you could not possibly fit your body through them. It'd be like trying to squeeze your body through the bars of a prison cell. You're gonna get wet, and with the, you know, if somebody firing those thousands of rounds, you're gonna get hit. That's why Uncle Larry hated the A-Team, because the A-Team made a fucking religion out of the fact that you had thousands of rounds flying at the heroes and nobody ever got killed. But how can you, how can you buy it, boys and girls? Where's the drama or the suspense if you know that you're watching something that's total and complete bullshit? You can't empathize with the character, ooh, they might get hit, because you know they won't. And in fact, Quentin Tarantino even refers to the A-Team syndrome in Pulp Fiction, which is not a great movie, but it had stuff in it that Uncle Larry liked. And one of the things he liked is that in the scene where Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta shoot those kids to get the briefcase, and then the other guy bursts out and fires 6 shots from a revolver point blank at him, and every shot misses, all right? Samuel Jackson even says, when something like that happens, it's got to be divine intervention, all right? Even he says in the course of the movie, this is God had a hand in this because it's a fucking miracle. Nobody misses 6 shots from point blank range, all right? Nobody. And we're not talking about 6 bullets here, boys and girls. We're talking about thousands. You know, but they just keep putting it in the movies and people just keep paying to go and see it. Go figure. Anyway, by now Uncle Larry was just praying that, you know, because hope springs eternal, he was praying that this whole thing that was supposedly reality outside the Matrix would in the end just turn out to be another level of the Matrix. Because Uncle Larry could buy that, boys and girls. If the whole movie's supposed to be just an unreality, a dream, doesn't matter how absurd it gets, because it's all taking place in the character's mind. Uncle Larry kept hoping that at the end, Keanu would wake up in a straitjacket in a mental institution somewhere, and it turns out it was all just an elaborate, you know, hallucination. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. They really expect you to buy it, and they're even going to milk some sequels out of this, boys and girls. The director brother said it's a fucking trilogy, which means we've got 2 more movies full of total stinking bullshit coming our way. God, it just makes Uncle Larry so depressed. Now, the movie did have some good points. First 45 minutes, pretty good. Most American movies really do start out good, boys and girls, because somebody has a good idea, and the first half of the movie is setting up the premise. It's only when they try and figure out how to develop it that the total lack of education and brain power shows through. And also, all the Zen elements were very good. They were very accurate. It was a good way to teach people the rudiments of Zen. The Zen was good, but the science was fucking lousy, all right? And that makes it worse, because when you put something bad next to something good, it makes the bad stuff look even worse, boys and girls. You know, you just go, what a bunch of wasted potential. How frustrating. And the whole thing about what is reality, like, how can you really tell if what's happening to you is happening out there or in here? Well, the answer is you can't. That was okay. But mostly, it was just so offensively stupid that Uncle Larry, well, look, he's going on a rant because of it. One last good thing, there's a scene in there towards the middle of the movie where Keanu meets a little bald kid who's bending spoons, who teaches him the rudiments of Zen. And that's the joke, because the little bald kid, that's little Buddha. Okay, he's a little Buddha. And Keanu Reeves actually starred in a Bernardo Bertolucci movie called Little Buddha. Ha ha, what an in-joke. Does not save the steaming pile of shit that this movie has become. Just so this isn't a relentless sermon of negativity, Uncle Larry wants to recommend 2 great science fiction movies which also deal with the same concept of the savage messiah. Right? These 2 movies being Zardoz, written and directed by John Borman, and The Last Days of Man on Earth, written and directed by Robert Fuest from a novel by Michael Moorcock, a science fiction writer. Right? These are 2 of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. The reason they're not in Uncle Larry's top 25 is because they're both, unfortunately, terminally underfunded. The director's visions far exceeded their budget, and that's a big enough flaw to keep it out of Uncle Larry's top 25. But conceptually, they're solid, boys and girls, and they're very rewarding, and they are just so much better than the steaming pile of crap that people call The Matrix. What is The Matrix, boys and girls? It's a giant fuck you to anybody with half a brain. Remember that. Okay, let's wrap it up. The whole point of Uncle Larry's Rant, people in this country are idiots. It's too bad, but every time Uncle Larry looks around, something else happens to prove it. Even the people who are supposed to know better, all right? And that the Matrix, the makers of the Matrix, have nothing but contempt for your intelligence, boys and girls. They think you're a fucking moron, and if you liked this movie, you've only proven them to be correct. And if you think Uncle Larry was a little severe this time, just wait till next episode when Uncle Larry takes on Star Wars and the Littleton, Colorado killings.